Good afternoon, it's Ian here with our interviews of local rock heroes. Today I'm in Shoreham at the home of John and Jenny Finch, and I shall be talking to John about his musical influences and his career, which spans probably about 60 years. I think I'm probably right, maybe 60. We'll see. So this is John. John's well known on the local music scene. I hope he doesn't mind me saying he's probably the granddaddy and the godfather of the local Shoreham music scene, especially. Born and bred in Shoreham. So John, my first question is, obviously you grew up there, you were as a young lad in Shoreham. What can you remember about anything that when you were growing up around here that got you kind of influenced into music? What was your earliest musical memories?
Skiffle groups at St Mary's Hall.
All right.
That was probably about 1959.
Okay.
And the other musical memory was listening to records at the Pictures.
Oh right, okay.
During the break when they were changing the reels over.
So when do you think it was that you thought, oh, I'd like to, rather than just watching music, which whereas most people stop, what was the kind of thing that made you think, no, I'd like to have a go at this? I'd like to.
I've been interested in guitar players, but I hadn't really thought about doing it until I was in the Pictures one Saturday afternoon in Shoreham, and I heard Apache by the Shadows, and that was the big light bulb moment.
How old were you then when you decided you wanted to play the guitar?
About 13. Dad, I have to have a guitar now.
Excellent.
And so I saved up a bit of pocket money. I had a butcher's round at the Co-op in the High Street, which I used to get 10 bob on a Saturday, so I saved up.
Oh, now for those of you younger viewers, 10 bob is 50 pence. Is that right, John?
Yes.
Yeah.
But I went over to a guitar shop in Worthing, near Worthing Station, little old guitar shop called Heathershaw's, and I found it was just a lump of plywood and a capo, really. It was a £4.19 and sixpence guitar called a Madrigal.
Called a what, sorry?
It was called a Madrigal. It was just a little acoustic guitar.
Okay.
With a neck like a banana, so you couldn't play it very well.
Right.
But I had to have that. And later on, when I was about 16, I bought a reasonably good guitar,
Yeah.
and carried on from there.
So did you have lessons or did you just
No, picked it up.
Picked it up.
I learned it note for note. For all the Shadows numbers were lead guitar. My brother Pete played rhythm.
All right.
Because he was interested as well.
Okay, yeah.
And it must have driven my dad mad because we were in the bedroom all Saturday and Sunday picking out the notes for the Shadows numbers.
So when did that lead to you thinking about getting a group together?
My dad moved down to Wittering when I was about 14, and I just happened to get in touch with a guy who lived around the corner, and he was a drummer.
Right.
And my brother also played rhythm guitar, so we lived in a road called Southcote Avenue, so we started a band called the Southcotes.
The Southcotes?
Yeah.
Right.
And we did a couple of gigs at Gibson's Holiday Camp. We pestered the...
And where was Gibson's Holiday Camp?
It was in Bracklesham Bay.
Oh, right, okay.
And it's no longer Gibson's now, but it was Gibson's then. And they had a jazz band used to play in the club, which was open to the general public.
Right.
And we pestered them to let us have a go in their break.
Okay.
So we did a couple of...
So this would have been about when, roughly?
1962.
1962? That's a good year, that. The year I was born. And what kind of stuff were you playing when you?
We were doing Shadows numbers, really.
Right.
And a couple of Beatles songs. By then, I think the Beatles started off in about 62 when they became in the charts.
Okay.
So we did a couple of Beatles numbers, maybe a couple of Rolling Stones numbers, but it was all sort of copying the big bands.
Right. So you're on your way.
Yeah.
And were you also working at the time, or?
At the time, I was still at school.
Right. Yeah. See, that wasn't uncommon in those days.
No.
No.
And when I left school when I was 16 and got a job in the holiday camp.
All right.
So I ended up playing in the saloon bar band.
Well done.
On a T-chest bass.
Were you kind of going to gigs? I know you said you went to the St Mary's Hall to watch the skiffle bands. So what was the first real kind of wow big gig that you went to?
It was one of the gigs that was going around with a conglomeration of all sorts of things, and it was Eden Kane. This is the first one I went to. Eden Kane was one of the Sarstedt brothers.
All right.
The Shadows were second on the bill.
Right.
And there was another load of. I can't really remember what the other ones were. Weren't very good, But I just went to see the Shadows, and that was probably when I still lived in Shoreham, when I was about 13.
Okay. And where was that?
That was at the Hippodrome at Brighton.
Right. And I bet your ticket was about
7 and 6.
7 and 6. No, I can't convert that.
Something like that. 37.5p.
37.5p. Okay, so obviously you kind of fit the age profile of a lot of these famous guitar players like Clapton and Jimmy Page and that. And obviously during that time the blues became the massive explosion in the UK. And knowing what you do now with your band Dolly Dagger, which is blues and rock, I can't imagine that escaped you.
No. Well, I ended up working, when I left school, I ended up working in the shoe trade, and so I didn't have really time, because I was working from Monday to Saturday night, early Monday morning to Saturday night, so I never had time to be in a band, so I just used to take my little old guitar with me and my old £4 19 and 6 Madrigal with me, and wherever I was a relief manager for a shoe firm.
Oh right, okay.
And I ended up in Hastings, and I made a few friends, and there was this cafe bar, coffee bar in Hastings, and I went up there, and they had a jukebox, and I had this music going around my head, and I didn't know what it was. I must have heard it on the radio at night, and it was John Mayall and the Blues Breakers on the jukebox.
Oh, I see.
With Eric Clapton. This is it.
And I noticed here we have a John Mayall album.
Yeah.
Just by coincidence. There you go. Can you see that?
Yeah.
Okay, so you obviously heard John Mayall, and you thought that's it.
That's it.
The second time.
And then
not the Shadows anymore.
There it was. Now it was. I must admit when we were at the band in Wittering, and the Shadows were sort of gradually going out of fashion. It was the Beatles and the Stones, and I had to start learning chords then. So it was like learning all over again.
Oh right, I see.
Because all I did was widdly diddling on the single notes.
So
anyway,
I'll go carry on, John. Yep.
Going back to I was in the shoe shop one day listening to the radio, and Hey Joe came on.
Ah right.
Oh, that was
another moment.
Another moment. That was another moment. And then, not long after that, he brought out Purple Haze, Jimi Hendrix, and that was fantastic. That was me.
That was you hooked.
Hooked for the rest of
for the rest of
up
your
until
time.
now.
I remember going to the bridge in Shoreham, and we're winding the clock forward a little bit, in 1983.
Yeah.
And I'd only moved down to this area, and I was, as I say in my introduction, that there were so many places to watch music, and not just Brighton.
Yeah.
I went along there one Sunday and saw this whiz kid playing all this Hendrix stuff, and it was obviously you that was singing with the band. Was it called Dolly Dagger back in 83 or
83? It might have been. We started off in the bridge because I was playing there on my own. I'd just done 2 years at the Red Lion, but the landlord changed and he didn't like the stuff, so I left there and went and saw Ron Priest down the bridge, and he gave me a Tuesday night to play on my own.
All right.
And I've been there about 6 weeks, and it was going a bit flat. And one night, my youngest brother came in with this guy called Rod Cameron, who asked me if he could have a jam with me the following week, and I said, well, yeah, why not? He said he liked Hendrix, and within about another 6 weeks, I was in a rock band.
And it was called?
It was called Strange Brew, funnily enough.
Oh yes, yeah. There's another
Mark
band
One.
of that name.
Mark
isn't there?
One.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
And then Ron decided to call us the HS band, as in HSB.
All right.
But everyone else started calling us the Heavy Shit Band, so so we changed it. And then we were talking one night, and Jenny came up with Dolly Dagger.
Dolly Dagger.
It was Desperate Dan and Dirty Shoes. It all started about the same time, so it sounded right.
It fitted in.
And it was a Jimi Hendrix number from the Rainbow Bridge album. So
right, okay. So we kind of jumped a little bit there from the blues influence. But would you say that was your first real band?
No,
that was...
no. When I was about 21, which would be 1968, I got together with some guys in down the King's Head, Martin Lee, Piers Skelton and Brian Langridge, and we formed a band called the Ministry of Culture Blues Band.
Oh, right, okay.
And we did a few gigs when they went off to university, but I was a bit older than them. And we were going for about a year or so, and we did a couple of gigs at Shoreham Town Hall, which is now a Chinese restaurant.
Oh, where's that?
In the
Oh, I know,
the
of course, yeah, of course, yeah. The what's it called?
The Funky
Dragon.
Dragon.
Yeah, right, okay.
And I can say that on one of the gigs we had Leo Sayer on harmonica.
Oh, really? Well, he's from
famous.
Shoreham, isn't he?
Yeah, he's from Shoreham.
Yeah, I don't know if he'll do one of these interviews. I might ask him, but I don't think I'll get him, but we'll try.
He's in Australia. You might have a job.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah. So we did a few gigs at Shoreham Town Hall, a couple of gigs up in Stenning, and that was it. Oh, at the Norfolk in Worthing.
Oh, yeah.
That's no longer there, but
yeah.
We played there a few times, and then it all fizzled out, and I went back to being on my own, really.
You're on your own, and then eventually you morphed into...
Yeah, I was in the shoe trade, and then I left the shoe trade when I was 21, and did a load of different jobs. I was worked at the bridge as a bar cellarman in 1968.
All right.
And there's no music in Shoreham then, apart from the Swiss Cottage, which had music on a Saturday and Sunday, occasionally, with a band called the Matelows. They were pretty good. They used to play Pink Floyd early stuff. And there was a blind piano player who used to get in there. I forget his name now, but he used to do the real honky-tonk stuff.
Oh, lovely.
He was brilliant, yeah. But the last time I saw him was in Brighton in the early 80s, wasn't it, when we went over to Rosie O'Grady's to an open mic thing. And,
so when do you think the music scene, as in the pub music scene, started to kick off in Shoreham?
Well, it seemed to kick off because there was nothing much else going on apart from people like myself. There was a couple of folk clubs about.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until Rod and me started playing in the bridge, and that became very popular.
Yeah, I remember.
I mean, the place was rammed on a Friday night. It was ridiculous. Yeah. And we've had quite a few different people in the band over the years. And unfortunately, Rod died in 2012, but we're lucky enough to have his best mate playing with us.
Yeah, I know, it's lovely, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like keeping it in the family. You know?
Yeah.
So we've been going for 42 years now.
Yeah. So I would say that you mentioned Dirty Shoes and Desperate Dan. You know, these are kind of like the stalwarts of the local music scene.
Yeah, there was another band called the Rhythm Sheds that used to come down. They were from Stenning. They were good. They were more sort of funky.
Yeah.
More of a funky band, weren't they?
Okay, so what I will ask you then. So
Don't
obviously,
forget
the Welly, yeah.
Yeah.
We started at the Welly in '85.
Yeah, obviously they've become local heroes at the Duke of Wellington.
Yeah.
So it's kind of nice that, you know, although lots of venues are shut and lots of things have changed in all the time that I've been playing 30 odd years, you obviously a lot longer, that there are still places left to play, which you know,
which is nice.
And what the Welly being one of them, and obviously the Piston, and there's a I mean, for a town the size of Shoreham, it's lovely to have a few venues. So what would you say would be one of your worst moment on stage, or the worst part about doing this kind of thing for a, you know, we'd say semi-professional living? But
well, we used to do a charity thing called the Brightona.
Oh yes, I remember Brightona.
And the last one we did was on the top of the car park at the marina, Brighton Marina.
Oh yeah, I remember going to that.
And it was blowing a hoolie, and we were in a gazebo on the top floor of the car park, and we'd done about 3 numbers. By that time, there was about 3 men and a dog watching us.
Yeah,
and,
been there.
The gazebo took off.
Fantastic.
So we had to stop then. It was a bit too dangerous to play.
So yeah,
That was about the worst time I remember, you know.
And what's probably your biggest gig that you've ever done, you know, with people or just the...
Blimey. I've been very lucky, but very lucky with the musicians I've had in the band.
Yeah,
Like
it always
Cameron,
helps, doesn't it? Yeah.
Phil Tidy was a bass player for a long time.
You played with Ivan, haven't you, Ivan?
Ivan Pledge was the drummer for when we were Strange Brew, and he was only 14 at the time. He was brilliant.
Yeah,
Still is.
Still is, yeah.
Yeah, and Dave Celia was the bass player. He's no longer with us, unfortunately. Then we had Mick Wackford as a drummer. He's no longer with us. He died a few years ago. So now we've got Dave Turner on bass.
Stu McCord on drums.
Sue McCord on drums and Graham Foy on guitar. And Graham's been with us about 6 years now. And Stuart about 20 years and Dave about 25 years.
Right. Okay. No sign of letting up at the moment then, all the while.
No, might be slowing down a bit and not going quite so far.
Yeah.
You know, we do 3 or 4 pubs in Shoreham and the Neptune in Hove, and that's good enough at the moment.
We mentioned obviously your step-by-step influences from the skiffle to the Shadows, and then the blues stuff, and then obviously Jimi Hendrix. Would you say he was the real big influence on...
The biggest.
Yeah.
Biggest influence ever, yeah. He's just so far ahead of his time.
Did you ever get to see him?
Yeah.
Oh, so you're one of the few that...
Yeah, I saw him at Worthing Pier in 1967 actually, because I had forgotten the actual years I saw him until I found it in this book, all the gigs in the back that he ever did in England, and apparently I saw him 3 times in 1967.
And I'd assume that would have been with the classic Noel Redding and Mitch Mitchell.
Mitch Mitchell, yeah. They played Worthing Pier, and one big memory was him playing Like a Rolling Stone by Bob Dylan.
Oh, right.
That was brilliant. And then I saw him at Sussex University later on, I think it was in June. This was in February 67, the first one. June 67 was at Sussex University, and 10 years after with a support band.
Oh, yeah.
That was a good gig. And then I saw the big tour in December, I think it was, where Hendrix was the headliner, and it was the Move, then it was the Pink Floyd, and the Nice.
All right.
All that for 37.5 pence.
Right.
You'd have to take out a mortgage to see him there, wouldn't you? But that was a good gig. He had to be good because Roy Wood was the lead guitarist of the Move, and he was a pretty hot guitar player.
Oh, was he?
And he pulled out all the stops.
People don't know that, do they?
Yeah. So
Probably they just think of him as wizard and...
Oh yeah, he's a great guitar player.
Clowning around in his makeup on.
And then Hendrix pulled out all the stops, and the roadies were trying to stop the amps falling over.
Oh, right.
Great. Yeah.
So what would you say is your favourite Hendrix song, or is that a difficult question?
I think the one that stood out the most for me was All Along the Watchtower.
Right.
When it first came out, because the sound was brilliant. He did it all himself as well.
Yeah.
He played all the instruments and everything. I also like Axis Boulder's Love. That's a good one off one of the albums. And
do you find it fascinating that even this far down, this is one of the things that I've always found fascinating, is that when I first came down to Shoreham from Kent, where I lived, there wasn't much music going on really, to finding all these lovely places and people playing, you know, kind of rock music and that, and you still, you know, it may not be everyone's cup of tea, but you can still go into a pub now and find people playing this music from so long back.
Yeah.
And it's still so popular.
Yeah.
And not just with older people, you know, a lot of the younger people kind of get it.
Yeah, well my son Michael, he's in his early 40s now, and he also likes the sort of disco stuff, but he loves the 70s, late 60s and 70s rock music. Loves all the albums I've got, and yeah. Another influence, well, I can't play like him, but was Django Reinhardt as the jazz.
Oh yeah, I think it's
Stefan Grappelli. I saw Stefan Grappelli in Guildford, and we went to see him in Brighton, didn't we? Mm. Stefan Grappelli twice with the Disley trio, and that was almost as good as Django Reinhardt.
Very different, but
yeah, it's brilliant. You know, that sort of music, sort of 30s jazz. I like that.
Okay. And we talked about a charity event that you got involved with.
Oh yeah, it was an idea we had actually before Bob Geldof came out with it. It was Rock for Ethiopia, and we did that in the November, wasn't it? The year before the big one came out.
Okay.
And we didn't quite raise £60 million. We raised 230 quid for the local Evening Argus.
Well, it was a fair bit of money in them days, wasn't it?
Well, yeah, it was 1980. When was that? 84, I think, was it?
Right, okay. Yeah. Where did you do that?
At Shoreham Community Centre.
Okay.
And we had £1 million. We raised 230 quid for the local Evening Argus.
Well, it was a fair bit of money in them days, wasn't it?
Well, yeah, it was 1980. When was that? 84, I think, was it?
Right, okay. Yeah. Where did you do that?
At Shoreham Community Centre.
Okay.
And we had Miller Anderson, Bob Brooks, loads of local people playing, and all sorts of things going on, raffles and food and everything. Mm-hmm. And Jenny and Mervyn Wallace and his wife Sue helped out doing the arranging everything, and it worked out quite well. You know, £230 in 84 was quite a lot of money.
About £1,000 now, maybe
a
bit more.
Yeah. Other good gigs we've had. Brightona, the one where we played at Marine Drive. Yeah, that was a good one. Good. But we were, all the time we're playing, someone was videoing us from across the road on the actual Marine. Is it Marine Drive? The one on the beach. And every 15 seconds there's a Harley going past. So it was sort of, there's a red house over yonder.
Yeah. No, yeah, I know. So as we stand at the moment, you know, you're probably in one of the most long running established bands in the local area.
So there's Bob Brooks is still going with Desperate Dan and various sort of lineups of his. Dirty Shoes are still going with more or less the same lineup.
Yeah.
So apart from the drummer, but I think Dave
Williams still plays with them, and Terry and Ian on
Terry.
bass.
Yeah, they've been together.
So would you say there was in the day there was a rivalry, or was it all very friendly?
It was, well, I think he'd like to call himself our manager, Joe Foxwell. He sort of stirred it up a little bit with the Dirty Shoes and us, but we're all good mates.
Yeah.
You did a Dirty Dagger, didn't you?
Oh, we did. We used to. Yeah, if Terry couldn't make it, because sometimes he was abroad.
Yeah. We
used to make up Dirty Dagger or Dolly Shoes.
Yeah.
And, do that line up in the bridge. 2 lead guitarists. Yeah, that was good fun. That's when what's his name?
Nicky Tettersall.
Nicky Tettersall.
Yeah, we were talking about him earlier today. Michelle and I saying that what a local hero he was.
He was good fun. When he was in the band, because
he was a bit of a
mad. Yeah.
He was crazy. So over the years, you say most of your experiences have been good, and most of the people you've met. I mean, we all know there are some Wallies around, but there's Wallies in all walks of life, including music, and you get the over enthusiastic people that reckon they can get you these brilliant gigs, and the others that reckon you should be on the TV and all this sort of stuff. You know, but I think most of us keep our feet on the ground and just enjoy it for what it is.
Yeah, I remember Miller Anderson saying to me, "John," he said, "you're just another rock band."
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
We're doing covers, so we're not going to get anywhere really. It's just just local.
But that's what people want.
Yeah, we did 1 or 2 of our own numbers. You know.
Well, I've heard you do original songs at the open mic.
And Rod and I wrote a few. We re-recorded 3 of them down at Bloomsbury back in the 80s. And we had Terry Popple on drums on our...
Yeah, I know Terry, yeah.
And he's good, isn't he?
He's very good.
He was running the Bloomsbury studios then, and we were sponsored by some bloke from Hove,
Okay.
and he paid for us to have the recording done, and we were listening to the tape the other day, weren't we?
Mm.
And we were just sorting out all our old stuff because we've got to move soon. And, come across all these tapes of Dolly Dagger. We got a lot from Rod's flat after he died, because he was well into recording and messing around with his computers and everything, you know. So
Right,
yeah.
okay. Well, we've got plenty there, haven't we?
Mm. Lots of photographs.
Listen, there's anything we can, we can have a look at some of them. We've maybe put the photographs in front of the camera.
Actually,
I've got film.
Oh, no,
so I'm just. Is it worth doing a story about Nikki Tettersall? Have you got a funny story about Nikki Tettersall?
I can't really. I mean, it's such a long time ago
Yeah.
when I last saw him playing at the Welly, and at the one in Southwick, where they used to do the shows in Southwick in the community centre.
Rock
there.
in the barn.
The barn, yeah.
Actually, that was me organising all that.
Yeah,
Oh, really?
Yeah.
yeah.
Sorry.
So I tried to get you guys a couple of times, and I did get you. You were due to play the last ever Rock in the Barn, which was in 2000 and... started in 2005, and I did 8 of them. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10... 2012, that's probably when Rod went.
When Rod went, yeah.
I had you booked.
Oh.
And because it was in the September.
Yeah, well, Rod died.
And
in
I'd
June.
seen Rod I'd seen him in the April at the jam session at the when it moved to the Hope Park Tavern.
Oh yeah.
And I remember I did. Someone wanted to do Rock and Roll by Led Zeppelin, and no one would sing it. And Rod said to me, "Come on, you can sing it." Well, I couldn't, but I went up and played. And 3-4 weeks later, he's gone.
Yeah, that's right. The last time I saw him play was at the Neptune. That was about 2 months before he died, and I'd never seen him play so well. I had a feeling something was different.
That's,
You know, I don't know whether he was on something to keep him going or not. I don't know.
these are
But,
just ones that I've been putting
I've never
up,
seen him
so
play
lots of good.
so flamboyantly.
Yeah, well, it was a real shame because I'd been after you guys, and you were always, I couldn't get hold of you, and there was only an X amount of room for so many bands, and
Yeah.
so finally, Rod did play at Rock in the Barn. He played for Lee Pryor's band.
That's right. Oh,
I
Copperhead,
think he joined Copperhead,
Yeah.
and then they became something else.
Yeah, that's right.
And Rod rocked up
Yeah.
10 minutes before the off.
Yeah, I remember that when he joined them.
Plugged his guitar in and played the house down, you know.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But what we did, I didn't realise when we found out he was ill and he'd gone. We dedicated the whole event to Rod, and one of his aunties she read about it in the local paper, and she was very touched, and she got hold of my phone number.
Oh.
She said, "Oh, I'm really, really." I said, "Well, it's he's a big influence and a real local."
Yeah.
Guitar hero, and we were going to have him play here, and obviously he can't make it, he's gone.
Yeah.
And I said it's just all we can do really is to try and pay tribute to him.
Yeah. Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
so yeah, it was a shame he never got to do it.
Oh, of course, I just forgot now because after Rod died, that year I retired. I came back to Shoreham, and we lived at Riverside House for a bit, and the band, we had about a year off, and I suddenly thought, we need to keep going.
Yeah.
So I phoned the other two up, Dave and Stuart, and we decided to call it the Dagger Band, and I was the lead guitarist. Because I'm not bad when I get going.
No, I do.
you know.
I do remember seeing you as a free piece.
Yeah, and
Because
so
obviously
we
the other name that hasn't come into the equation is because one of the things I've always felt is that it can't just be us old uns carrying the flag. We've got to get some younger people in to be doing this.
Yeah.
When we can't do it, or
Yeah.
And of course, from out of nowhere, this local boy from Shoreham, Jed Cutler, appears, who blows everyone
Yeah.
out of the water with his guitar playing.
Yeah. And I was lucky enough to have him for a couple of years.
Yeah, I say he was with you.
It was good. Yeah.
I mean, if anyone was going to fill Rod's shoes,
Yeah.
he kind of did it. So when did so I'm assuming that Jed was there until your current. Oh, I always get his name.
Graham.
Graham. I always get his
Graham.
mixed up
Yeah.
with Graham.
Well, Jed left, and I was doing a duo with Graham. Anyway, I started a trio with Graham and Tim Woods. Then I chatted them up, and we got an acoustic trio going. And then Tim Woods dropped out because he wasn't keen on the blues and stuff like that. And so I was going with Graham, and I eventually persuaded him to. He was playing with the Alice band. I eventually persuaded him to have a go with Dolly Dagger. And
Yeah.
he started to enjoy himself. But before that, I met Jed busking in East Street, and we got chatting. And I said, "Do you fancy joining the band? I'm looking for somebody who likes Hendrix." And it turned out he could actually play like Hendrix.
Well, he can play like anybody, can't I? I mean, ironically, we
Ridiculous.
mentioned Django Reinhardt. He's now doing that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
I know
brilliant.
he went to Germany and did a tour, and
Yeah.
In Japan.
he's a very gifted.
Oh yeah, not kidding.
Local.
He's great. Yeah.
So I think, from my point of view, it's hosting a local open mic in Shoreham. It's always handy to have some older heads around, just to hopefully influence some of the younger ones.
Yeah.
And I do think that no one knows the future of live venues or the music scene or even the pub scene, because it's very difficult.
That's
but
right.
if we look at where we are in our little part of the world, it's pretty good.
Yeah. We
And
played at the Portland for quite a long time.
Oh yeah.
And we used to do the Thursday night sort of rock night, Come All Ye open mic night, and Rod and I used to go down there, and some of the youngsters that used to come in there they really wanted to get on the stage, but they were terrified. They only probably knew 2 songs, but we said, "Come up, we'll stand behind you," and we back them, and they, "Oh really?" And some of those kids have really gone
Yeah,
from
I don't
strength
think
to
we've
strength.
seen it. We've seen it with young Ruben, who now, when he first came to the open mic, it was a bit hit and miss, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And I'm sure it's people like yourself who are well respected and and known, have helped him along the way
Yeah.
and influenced him.
Yeah. It's nice to be able to do it.
Yeah, well, you're still doing it, John.
Yeah.
Any kind of regrets that do you ever look back and think, "Oh, I wish I'd have done this differently," or musically, obviously not.
I don't know. I don't think so.
Well, that's a good thing.
I've just
isn't
sort of. I'm a drifter, really. I've never been known for organising anything, have I? It just happened.
it? Well, that's
You know, the when I finished playing at the Red Lion, I was playing up there on a Tuesday on my own for 2 years, just with the 12 string, hacking away in the corner. Then this new guy turned up, and we just didn't get on, and so I left and went to the bridge, and luckily Ron had a space for on a Tuesday, and so it just happened. Well, a lot of it was just luck,
Well, I think anyone, even the top musicians in the world, would say there was an element of being in the right place at the right time, or just knowing the right person, or just being, and even at the level we play at, one of the hardest things for new bands is to try and get their foot in the door, innit?
Oh yeah.
And once you become established, you've only got to ring up and say, "Oh, it's so and so from so and so, and a new band, but so and so's in the band. Oh, all right, then we'll give you a gig."
Yeah.
So the local Shoreham lad, who grew up watching skiffle bands at the
St Mary's Hall.
St Mary's Hall, and then he fell in love with the Shadows, and then John Mayall, and then Jimi Hendrix, and all the rest, as they say, is history.
Stones, Rolling Stones.
So if you had to put a number on the amount of years you've actually been performing live music, what would that number be?
Well, I started in 1963.
So basically, you've been at it for 62 years.
Yeah.
Incredible achievement, John.
Yeah, thank you.
And may you do another few years
I
yet.
hope so. Yeah. I've got
I
some gigs booked up for next year, so I should be.
I think you are going to be, out of all of our interviewees, you're going to probably have the record for the amount of time you've been performing. So you should be proud of that.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
over the years, you know, you give a lot of people a lot of pleasure. And it's been a pleasure talking to you, John.
Thank you.
So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Little win. Any more?